And we are I'm about to go, sucker. I'm about to go, sucker. And what is up, everybody? It's your boy Ben Goosen, back at you with the IRWP this week. And I have to admit, we might be a bit distracted today. We do this on Thursday nights. You've heard this on the podcast. And the Browns are playing the Jets, and we got the debut of Baker Mayfield. But first, I need to say something. I need to get something off my chest. What up, Sage? How you doing?
Jose Mobile say you out of prepaid minutes, yo.
No. I need to get something off my chest. And I need to tell you something. I need to tell you specifically this.
Me specifically.
So if you watch our YouTube channel, you know what we look like. You know what we're about. And I gotta say, somebody get you some clippers. Weird. Your beard is weird. Get this man some clippers. His beard is weird. Trick.
Oh man, I know you ain't trying to get me with no rap devil, son. Better put on that coat and go somewhere else with that fandom.
We got to start off this week with the hotness. We have to touch. I know it's it's a real wrestling podcast. Thank you for joining us, everybody. We got to come out. The second I heard that, let's go into it. I don't think we didn't touch on it at all last week.
Yeah, we talked about it. Yeah, you went on that rant last week. In fact, let me just kind of interject real quick. One of our followers wanted to come on our show to kind of talk about what you had said in terms of, the whole dissing in the rap game kind of thing. But we didn't have any time this week to do that. But if he's listening right now, you can give us a call, 419-777-IRWP. Leave it on the hotline. We'll play it out later for you. But go ahead, Goose.
Matter of fact, if you're listening right now and you call us, I'll put you on air the best I can, or you'll be live on air. Yeah, you're right. We did discuss it. The rap game, the diss is not like it was back in the day. However, between last week's show and this week's show, Eminem's response came out. Whew. Killed him. That's it. Yeah. It's done. The beef is officially finished. Nobody needs to respond to anything else. It's done. And
that is until Crybaby Bowden went to P. Diddy about that verse, and now P. Diddy's gonna supposedly handle Eminem. I don't know what that's all about, but
nothing.
Yeah.
Trust me.
He ain't said nothing that we all haven't been thinking about. You know what I mean?
There's nothing. P. Diddy, he doesn't need to respond. He's on his way to being a billionaire. These kind of problems are the least of his worries to me. But man,
so peep this out, man. I was listening to this guy on YouTube earlier in the week, and he had brought up a great point, as to why Eminem even took that shot to begin with Diddy, and he had pointed out that Eminem or the Diddy's been secretly on the low key been trying to take out Eminem, man. I mean, he's got his attack dogs all on Eminem. Or what's his name? Machine Gun Kelly. Yeah, under Bad Boy Entertainment. Joe Budden does work for Bad Boy Entertainment. And there was something else as well. I can't remember, but yeah, it just seemed like all these pieces, like Diddy's kind of like on the low key trying to trying to character
Uh-oh.
assassinate Eminem, man. But you know, P Diddy ain't no battle rapper, so I mean, I know he ain't gonna come out with no verse. I mean, the best he's gonna come out with some kind of dance, jiggling from the left to the right,
Taking him out. Yep.
taking him
Diddy's all
out.
about the money. Diddy is, and he does very well at it. He was on the Forbes 2018 list of top rappers. I think he was number 2. He may have even overtaken like Jay-Z's number 1, but Puffy's number 2. But both of them dudes are closing in on being worth $1 billion. So
Yeah, and I
props to
think
him
that
for
P
doing this.
Diddy or Jay Z just took over P Diddy's spot just recently.
I think so too. I think it's because of a liquor line or something like that.
Yeah.
Before we get into wrestling, Baker Mayfield made his debut tonight. It's like he's getting the NXT call up, ain't it? You went to
Oh
college,
man,
was successful. Now you're in the pros and you're successful.
I got mixed feelings about it, man. One, I'm listening to this commentary live, and like not even like 5 minutes into the game, they're already talking about Bakerfield coming in or Mayfield coming into the game, and the way that the commentators are kind of saying it, like they're trying to paint Tyrod Taylor in a bad light, like, oh, Mayfield is more respectful and he's more this and more that. And I'm thinking, like, what in the hell are you talking about? Like, I've never heard since Tyrod's gotten on the team, I haven't heard anything about any kind of trouble that this kid's gotten into or anything of that nature. And then it just kind of seemed like it was like politically motivated or something like that to me. And I just so I'm not all about that, man. They're trying to paint this guy out to be the great white hope for Cleveland. And I think, you know, the last time that we painted somebody to be the great white hope, they're playing for the Canadian Football League. So
Oh yeah, and they did horrible. I gotta admit, he's playing decent so far. Look,
well, he's
this little
scrambling in
scramble.
the pocket right
Look at this
now.
scramble.
And he got it. He got it. First
Yeah,
down.
little scramble. You can't complain about that. So
Yeah.
so I started watching the game today too, and we'll get into our wrestling here in just a sec. And yeah, from the get go, the fans were booing. I think major televised game. It's a Thursday night football, and fans wanted to see themselves some Baker from Mayfield. Tyrod got concussed, possibly concussed.
He got concussed.
Concussed.
Yeah,
Exactly.
ain't no way that boy got concussed, man. They carted him off the field to save face and to hype up the whole thing. You know that if Cleveland wins this game, they're giving free beer to everybody in the stadium, right?
Really?
Yeah, they got it on lockdown right now. Like they have the beer on lockdown right now, but if they win the game, they've got like a whole security section ready to hand out beers to everyone.
Oh, 50,000 beers. You know how that's going to turn out?
Yeah,
Amazing.
it's gonna be a lot of baby making. I'll tell you that, man.
Yeah, what month are we in? September, October, November, December, January. Summer babies.
Yeah, man. We're the
Lot.
baby boomers part 2.
No kidding. A lot of summer
Yo,
babies.
man, the Jets are disrespectful, man. Isaiah Corwell, man, wiping his butt with the ball and giving it to the fans.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, that's like the most tacky, pointless, and there's no shade between these teams.
Yeah.
There's no shade between these teams at all.
Well, like, I think that like 4 of the people that are on the Jets right now came from Cleveland or played for Cleveland in the last 4 years. So they're trying to make it into something that it's not. I mean, I don't think we booed him out of town or anything like that, or Pryor Senior out of town. But
yeah, Pryor
I don't
Senior
know,
did great that one year that he tore it up.
Yeah,
He did amazing.
and then we traded him the next year, unfortunately.
Yeah, no kidding. Now this weekend, we kind of had a busy couple days. Now that I think about it, I mean it's Thursday already. Kind of had a busy couple days when it comes to wrestling, right?
Yeah,
So
for sure.
let's get into Hell in a Cell. Hell in a Cell. See, Sage Mark and I in San Antonio, 2 brothers in San Antonio, and we didn't go to the show. It was busy personal time, and we just didn't have the time to set aside. But I'm not gonna lie, I woke up Sunday and thought, you know what? If there's something that entices me, I'm gonna go buy a ticket off StubHub, whatever. Invite maybe Dobby and Moray. Maybe hit up Sage and Mark on the last minute thing. Maybe try to win some tickets on the radio or something. But I just didn't feel interested in going. I don't know why. I'm a wrestling fan. I have a lot going on. Nothing major, but I'm in between moving from an apartment to a house right now. So I got that going on, school night. I'm making up excuses, but I just didn't feel like this was going to be a great card. So did the card meet your expectations? And where were your expectations going into it?
The card itself didn't really. I didn't. The only match that I really wanted to see out of the entire card was Becky versus Charlotte. Like, to be honest with you, that was the only match that I had high hopes for, and everything else was. It felt like a SmackDown pay-per-view card, and I mean, and don't get me wrong, all the SmackDown matches were great, but that's the only one that I was really looking forward to. The only one that I was literally invested in.
Yeah, I thought the card was not great. Um, I'd say average. I wouldn't say below average. Would you? Would you go that far and say it sucked?
Well, are you talking about on paper or performance wise, or
Show itself
are
Sunday
we
night.
talking about?
So once you were done on Sunday night and the
Oh,
show was over.
I thought the pay per view was amazing. For the exception of maybe the last two matches, I thought it was stellar, man. I the first four matches out of the card were just like barn burners left and right. Like I was just totally shocked. The cage match, the first cage match coming out, that match I thought that was not going to even be worth the while, but yo, that was a barn burner, man. And then the tag team match with the Shield and the Dogs of War, that match was amazing as well. And things just started getting a bit sour right after the Ronda Rousey match. But I did like the fact that Ronda sold the hell out of her ribs, and she just continues to oppress like left and right. And she's got such great chemistry in the ring with Alexa Bliss, which is more towards Alexa's uh, skills, like putting people over. This is what Charlotte should be doing, or is just now getting to doing. And like Alexa's leaps and bounds on doing that. So I don't know. I thought it was a solid thing overall.
Yes, same here. So it did exceed my expectations. I really liked, and I started on the pre-show. The New Day tag match was just a little bit better than good. Those guys always put on a good match. They almost can't do anything wrong. But if you think about it, look, hindsight being 2020, it really set up what was going to go on SmackDown. So the New Day retaining, I knew Rusev and Aiden English weren't going to win. I'd love to hear the pop that Rusev gets, but the start between Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton, I thought it was good because you expected, all right, we're going to have a swanton off a ladder. We're going to have some crazy bump by Jeff Hardy. But those two guys, they maybe had 20, 25 minutes for that match.
Yeah, that match was long and gruesome.
And it was slow and methodical. Like
Yeah,
it was very, and that caters to them because Jeff Hardy's, he's up there in age, but Randy Orton's like a slow, methodical striker, and he has the mental game aspect to him. So I thought that the match was good. Hardy taking that bump looked sick. It was something. I love the red cage, by the way. The red cage was solid, right? A good addition, good switch up.
I didn't have one. I didn't really have opinion for it one way or the other. To be honest with you, I felt like this was a TNA ripoff all the way through, or it could just have been them paying homage to TNA on the low key. But that's where the red cage came from. I mean, and then you've got like 5 of the 6 people on the card from TNA itself. So I don't know, man.
True. Good point. The ending of the first match was good. The Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair match.
Woo!
I loved. Yeah. I like that was a good match. And the clean win at the end with no messing around was solid.
I love that. One of our fans actually went to the event, and she made like a whole stack full of I Boo the Woo.
If
you saw the opening of Becky coming out and you just saw I Boo the Woo everywhere in the front row, those ended up getting confiscated by WWE. and they were also told, which I didn't know this until later, but they were also told not to, allegedly, were told not to cheer Becky, which was kind of weird for them to do that. But you heard by the reception, nobody listened to that. Becky's our champion. Hashtag our champion.
Jeez. Yep. That's disappointing because at the end of the day, I mean, people are just there to have, a good time. They pay their hard-earned money. They should be able to cheer what they want to cheer. That was a little fumble by the Browns. They should be able to cheer.
Oh my God, he's going for the touchdown. Go! Go! No! Go! Oh my God. That's what I'm talking. Defense, Browns, let's go. 10-yard line. We're hitting this. Let's go. Sorry about that, man. Y'all gonna get, just fair warning, guy. Y'all are gonna get that all night.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
That's right. What's going on, Red Tyler? Red Tyler, thanks for joining us out in the chat. You guys can always hit us up if you're listening to us on the audio podcast. We do this live on Thursdays. Hit us up at It's Real Wrestling Podcast on YouTube. Get that bell notification so that way you know when we go live.
Yeah, no kidding. What up, Red Tyler? Let us know your thoughts on Hell in a Cell, please. So, yeah, I thought the Charlotte Becky Lynch match was good, and I heard about them taking away all sorts of signs, which is really weak. I can't wait for the day when somebody records that on their phone on social media, somebody saying, a security person saying, hey, put that sign down. Hey, put that sign down. You pay your hard-earned money. You should be able to do that. Put it up if you want. Now, you're right. I thought the tag match was all right. Samoa Joe and AJ Styles was as good as it could have been. I felt like I liked the ending, actually. So I like that AJ, who never taps, actually tapped. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like that AJ tapped. And even though he won, he tapped.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Kerwin was a little slow on the replay, which was kind of weird. I don't know if that was by design or if they just didn't actually get there. And shout out to Red Tyler's girlfriend, Google.
Not Google, it's Dougal. You can't read. This man just wants
I'm more worried about the game, son. He's talking about Dougal.
One of our fans wants to give props to his girlfriend, and you're going out there calling him the wrong name. It's like the beard is weird. Your beard's taking up too much of your face. Your beard is weird. So Red Tyler in the chat.
I'm better as a 47-year-old man than a 23-year-old you.
Let's go. So Red Tyler, shout out to Red Tyler and Stephen Thatcher in the chat. Red Tyler couldn't stand Hell in the Cell. Let's go to the ending. Let's just cut to the end because we both agree that Ronda Rousey did an amazing job. The ending. So I thought the Roman Reigns Braun Strowman match was everything it should have been. It was just two huge dudes that have fought a bunch of times in the past. What could they do next? And so I actually really liked the match. And then the Shield coming down. Oh, that was close. Almost a touchdown. The Shield coming down. And, fighting on the top of the cage. I was talking to Darby Amore about this. So Seth Rollins and Dolph Ziggler do the table bump halfway down the cage, So is it expected now on all Hell in a Cell pay-per-views to have the from the cell table bump? Is that mandatory now?
I don't think it's mandatory. I think that you did this one just because it was like the anniversary of the Hell in a Cell kind of thing. I think it's like 20-year anniversary or something crazy like that. And I think that they just wanted to pay homage to it. And it really wasn't that big of a bump if you actually go back to take a look at it. I didn't like the fact that they really just let themselves go off of the cage without any type of interaction between the two. But I mean,
yeah, it was kind of like headbutt, 2-second pause.
Yeah.
Both of us.
They blew up the mattress. Okay, let's go now.
Yeah, right. So I was talking to Darby Amore about it. I kind of just the table bump. It was just Red Tyler. I agree. It was it was just I've seen it too much in Hell in a Cell. I'm okay. What got me as a fan was seeing Ambrose and McIntyre on the top, going with double clotheslines and big boots and actual wrestling moves on the top of the cage. Because these
Yeah.
dudes weigh 250 and up.
They were
And
teasing it going they were
yeah,
teasing it really for sure, them
the
going
whole
through the cage.
the whole time I thought, in general, even if those cages are super secure at the top, Drew McIntyre's 6'3", probably 250 pounds, 260 pounds. Just that weight falling on a cage. And the anticipation of, man, this is about to break. And then I thought it hit me. I was like, damn, Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman taking like a 15-minute break. They did
Yeah,
that
buddy.
table spot. They're taking this
That's
big
the
ass break.
Let's be honest. Let's be real. That's the only reason why those guys came out, man. They needed that restoration break, bro. They needed a sensu bean and they couldn't get it.
So I had no clue Brock was going to come out. So I talked a couple weeks ago about in wrestling, I haven't had that anticipation jump off the seat moment. Hell in a Cell, I'll give it props. The ending of Hell in a Cell sucked. But Brock Lesnar coming out, and now that he's under the USADA drug testing in the UFC, looks a bit slimmer, but he looks chiseled. Comes out, hits the F5 on both. His music played. I freaked the hell out. Man, how awesome was that to just hear his music hit and the fans just instantly pop?
Um, I liked it, man. Like San Antonio's a marked crowd, man. You got to remember, we're the same guys who booed Roman Reigns out of the building during the Royal Rumble 2 years ago. So to see them so engaged in when Brock came was pretty awesome, man. I thought that San Antonio did us proud overall from that aspect of it. I marked the hell out for like half a second and then realized, God damn it, this is going to lead to a triple threat match with pay-per-view.
It's
And then reality
how
set
it is
in.
this week.
Yeah, and then reality set in. So it's bittersweet. It's good to see him involved, but I've got some reservations, which we'll talk about when we get into Raw.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was a shock. I think the ending sucked. So I'm glad I didn't go because I would have been pretty pissed if I would have went. And in Hell in a Cell, you could have people fall off a cell. You could have people fight on top of a cell. You could have the two people in the ring hit each other with chairs and go through a table. But if you take two F5s, the match is over. That makes zero sense.
Yeah. And where the hell was the ref? I mean, he F5'd Roman Reigns on top of Braun Strowman for the pin, and the ref was nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
There should have been a second ref that came down the ring to count the 1, 2, 3.
He did. The second ref came down and was like, nah, it's over.
That's going to be a no for me, dog.
They should have had Randy Jackson legit run down.
That's right.
Now let's get into Raw, because I thought this week of the two shows, Raw was by far not. I don't mean it's as bad as it's going to sound, but by far the worst of the two shows. And I know you're going to tell me, yeah, that's every week, Goose.
That's every week, Goose.
Your beard is weird. That, you know what? I need to get I need to figure out next week. I might actually get this one. I need to get a sound clip. Your beard is weird. Your beard. That might be the worst.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, that. I think I'm gonna start getting quotes and stuff. That
Dude,
of all diss tracks
this dude's sitting here talking crap about Eminem when he still hasn't responded to Kevin Owens power bombing him off the damn stage. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. MGK, let's talk about it. I can go in on you because you got power. You were bought into the wrestling world. You're probably going to be a Hall of Famer one day because everybody's a Hall of Famer these days. You got powerbombed off the stage by Kevin Owens and did nothing about it. Your man bun is weird. And that's talking about me, who I've got a man bun. And I'm gonna have that quote. What was it? Let's talk about it.
We're gonna put it on a t-shirt, bro. We're gonna put that on a t-shirt. Get
of
powerbombed off the stage and nowhere to be found. Let's talk about it.
I'm gonna tell everybody. Hey, excuse me. What'd you say? No, I said double quarter pounder. Why'd you put pickles on it? I said I didn't want pickles. Well, your beard is weird. Of all disses of all time. Of all And
Yo, Diddy, you're gonna have to come with something stronger than Machine Gun Kelly, bro. I'm just saying. I'm gonna bring 50
yo,
Cent back in the game.
and I'll give props to Machine Gun Kelly. He's doing his thing. He's on his grind. I get it, all that good stuff. But your beard is weird as I. You know what? I'm gonna look up. Maybe next week we'll go over it. All-time worst diss tracks.
Mhm.
Who was it who had the Undertaker song? Was it Meek Mill?
Yeah,
No. Was it Meek Mill on that weak ass Drake diss track after? Was that before or after Drake did back to back?
it was before because he did Charged Up, right? He did Charged Up right after Meek Mill dropped that diss track, that weak diss track. He did Charged Up. He didn't hear anything about from Charged Up, so then he released Back to Back. So it was 2 tracks back to back.
Man.
Let's talk about it. I'm gonna rename this episode, bro. Let's talk about it.
We might have to. That goes down as one of the and
What they
MGK
saying
's
is
got-
Spitfire, bro. They got Charlemagne. Oh, that's who it was. Charlemagne, bro. You got Charlemagne is involved with Diddy on some projects too, and and Diddy or Charlemagne's constantly giving Eminem the donkey of the day. So
Yeah, he is. But you know what though? If I was Charlemagne,
yes.
I'm not gonna lie. If Diddy was like, "Hey man, the paycheck's clear on the 1st and 15th. Are you an Eminem fan?" I'm like, "Hell no, I ain't an Eminem fan. The paycheck cleared, right? Today's September 16th, right?" In a heartbeat, I'd be doing that. You best believe Diddy is a billionaire. If he comes to me, almost a billionaire, if he comes to me directly and says, "Hey, this donkey of the day needs to go to Eminem," right? Hell yeah, Diddy. Whatever you say.
It reminds me so much, and we getting off track again. It reminds me so much of who had the XL magazine back in the day.
Benzino.
Benzino. Yeah, it just reminds me of Benzino telling all his little flunkies to go after
Yes.
Eminem. So I mean, we forget, man. We forget. Yeah, we ganged up on Ja Rule, but that was after Benzino sicked the dogs on Eminem. So I mean, let's talk about
it. I thought we went after Ja Rule because I paid $25,000 to go to this music fest and I got a bologna sandwich and I got to stay in a tent. I thought
and then you didn't want to pay the employees.
I thought that's why we went after Ja Rule. Because I got to eat 15 bologna sandwiches and see 48 underground rappers and nobody else.
That's right. It's murder.
Your beard is weird. All right, let's get into SmackDown. SmackDown was good this week. I gotta admit,
it was great. What are you talking about? Good Ghost? Why are you trying to no sell it, bro? It was great.
Okay, talk to me about the kickoff, like the success of the Miz and Marie had, because I loved him interviewing his wife, and they were just so. Best word I can think of is so shitty towards Daniel Bryan and Brie. I went about like something around the lines of like, yeah, I don't even know why Brie's with somebody who loses like that, or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was basically saying that it was a marriage of convenience.
Yes.
Yeah, I love it, man, and I'm so sad that I get it. I'm so sad that Maurice is gone. Is going to leave. Like ever since she came back to the WWE, like it elevated the Miz so much. And I know that she was just basically used as a catalyst, to elevate the feud. But man, she just brought so much to the table. And I know that they can't do this forever and anything like that. But I think it's just going to be a big loss to not see her come down the ring with the Miz and do their crazy things. But I mean, they got their TV show, so there's that.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that she's gonna obviously, they got a little one, so she'll be at home a bit more. They don't live too far from here, just up in Austin, from what Miz and Mrs. What was on Miz and Mrs. I wonder why Austin. Figure if those two are trying to do the movie thing, reality thing. I wonder why Austin. Maybe they're just trying to settle down. But hopefully I see you out on 6th Street one day, Miz. Get a little drinky drink together. Maybe some barbecue, some Austin barbecue. I'm not going to catch a UT game, but I'll go down there and I'll have a little drinky drink in Austin. They have good barbecue actually, and a lot of concerts downtown. So okay, I don't want to go, line by line, match by match. We kind of went away with that like a year and 10 months ago as we come up on our 2-year anniversary and our 100th show. Shout out to us. Who is your who won the person of the night award? Who was your superstar of the night?
Oh man,
Whether it's matches, mic skills, who was your person of the night on SmackDown?
I gotta give it to the Queen, man. The Queen just she closed the show, and then she called Charlotte Flair a bitch.
So you're going okay. Okay, I could see that.
Bro,
I think
she just out healed. She out healed everybody on the damn roster last night. Outside the Miz, she just out healed everybody. Like her snobbishness was just it was amazing, man. And they made us wait until the very end of the show to actually see her. And I thought I just Becky's got that's Becky, man. It's got to be Becky.
so. I'm gonna go. Actually, I'm gonna go with Billy Kay. No, I'm just playing. She lost to Oscar fair and square. So, and man, I love me some Billy Kay. Beautiful, beautiful. I'm gonna go with Andrade Cien Almas, and let me tell you why.
I get you.
El Ihalo lost the match, but first off, that ending was. I'm not gonna lie. I rewound it like 2 or 3 times. Rewatched it. I gotta say, he continues to have. Ooh, you might want to look at that TV screen here in a sec.
Oh, on the 2-yard line, Bakerfield to Landry.
So I every week I feel like they're almost testing him. I feel like WWE knows that this guy can go in the ring and he's got a gimmick going for him, but they haven't released the full heel. Like think about it. Like Zelina Vega hasn't cost him a major or made him win a major match like Maurice is doing with the Miz. So I think they're maybe just testing him. Like, man, turn around. Man, can this guy go?
Your boy's got the touchdown. Carlos Hyde running it in. Let's do this. Go. 14, 42 seconds in the third quarter. Let's go, Browns. Let's go.
So it's like, I feel like they're trying to see what this guy can do. You know what I'm saying? Like they're trying to see what he can do on his own in the ring, standing up and facing these really tough dudes. He's had matches with Daniel Bryan in the past couple weeks, and he's holding his own. You know what I'm saying?
No, and I get where you're coming from, man. Because honestly, he would have probably been my number 2. I mean, he's not carried in the match. He puts just as much effort into the match as he gets out of it. And then we know, like the Mark fans know that with Zelina Vega, when she like literally gets into it, it's gonna make his whole persona just go out the roof. So I get that aspect of it, and it does look like they're pop testing him. I think that they're not going to let him go until after the Royal Rumble. To be honest, the pay-per-views and stuff are pretty much set for the rest of the year. The only reason I give it to Becky, aside from it being her promo was just amazing. I just love the fact that she played to why everyone loves her so much, right? I've worked 2 years and I got crapped on by everyone, and I've sat here and I watched you mock other people. So how do you like it? Why don't you put the belt around my waist? Why don't you call me queen? Like I love that, man. Like sometimes entertainment can come just from telling a story without having to wrestle, and I appreciate that when it's done from a sincere point of view, and it resonated with me very well.
Yeah, good storytelling. I hope she remains a heel. I mean, we'll see how it goes, especially once Man, he just threw for a 2-point conversion. How about that?
Hey,
So,
got to get it in, man. Tied game.
oh,
Oh,
I did. Yeah, it is.
yeah,
Uh,
14 up.
Wait a minute. Mayfield caught that pass. Man, Thursday night football.
Thursday
Would they
night
run like
football.
a reverse something?
Let me see. See if we can get this on the replay real quick here. We got Mayfield talking to the
We're talking to
coach.
we're talking to people in Cleveland right now.
There we go. There we go. All right. So looks like yep, reverse. Hyde throws the ball. Mayfield gets the 2-point conversion. Nobody was covering him, man, at all. Oh my goodness, that is insane.
Wow. Thursday night football, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I think I hope she does well. I don't know who she'll fight next because she's gonna have to keep that heel heat strong, right?
Yeah, I mean, and when I say heel heat, it's not traditional heel heat. It's just more arrogance. Just like I'm doing my own thing and I'm doing me. So as long as she continues around that path and she doesn't do like cheat to win and things like that, it should be fine. She's going to be tied up with Charlotte for at least 2 more pay-per-views. So
Good call.
they're going to need to make this to the point where it's not stale. Charlotte's going to inevitably have to win this next one, and then they having the blow off at the Evolution pay-per-view. So
Yeah, I agree, and that's a great point. I think that you're right that it's gotta continue on somehow, but she's got to keep the steam going for her. And you're right. It if she cheats to win a match, it kind of takes away a little bit from it, right?
it does. Because we didn't need Becky. That's not the reason why we liked Becky. We didn't like it because she had to cheat to win. We liked it because she worked hard and the man still stuck it to her. So now that it's her title and her show, like she needs to run it like it's her show. And you don't need to just be more vicious. Be more vicious in the ring, be more vicious in the and on the mic, and you're good. When she put the disarm her on Charlotte, she kept yanking it. And you don't see that a lot. A lot of times she just pulls and pulls and pulls. But this time she was just like yanking it every so often. I mean, that's just the little things like that makes it worthwhile.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So she's doing well. What else on SmackDown? Kind of. I mean, AJ Styles had a hell of a win against Hollow, and Aiden English. Aiden English
Yeah.
turned. We got the official heel turn this week.
Yeah.
I
We got
loved
the
it. Aiden
official
English looks
heel
great,
turn.
by the way. Aiden English looks great, doesn't he?
Yeah, man. I was peeping. Well, I shouldn't say it like that. It was noticeable
Your
that
beard
he's
is weird.
hitting the gym.
Your beard. Beep, 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 beep. Your beard is weird. Your beard is weird. Let's talk about it. Talk about it. That's my
Oh
quick
man,
version of the. Oh man, I gotta get that on the soundboard so bad.
no, I'm gonna edit that out. So don't. You're good, man. You ain't gonna get that, man. No, he's definitely hitting the gym, man. And I think that it's for this feud here. So it's gonna be interesting to see how things progress because I do agree with Aiden's promo that Aiden's kind of the one who elevated Rusev uh, with the Rusev Day chants, and I don't know if you can sustain that momentum with just Rusev by himself, but we'll see.
Well, see, so I like that Aiden English. It was kind of a change because he was once Lana kind of came back into the mix of things when Rusev Day started. He was kind of third wheel. So props to WWE. If this was the original plan and the long term story was, hey, let's put Aiden English with this guy, see how it goes. Oh wait, it's starting to get over. All right, we could use this to get Aiden English to become a big heel because Aiden English has been doing nothing but cool stuff on the mic.
Yeah.
So he's borderline coming out as a rapper, but the dude is tall. He's pretty. I mean, he's pretty ripped. He's got the look, and he could, in my opinion, and I've thought about this even when he was a part of the Vaudevillains, he could hold his own on the mic.
Yeah.
He's almost like SmackDown's almost equivalent of Elias, but We'll talk about Elias in a minute. So I think he could do well as like a bona fide heel. If he beats up Rusev and gets a win, and they've been showcasing his finisher more lately, just to show it. People have kicked out of it and all that, but I think that he could do well as a heel. And if he goes over on Rusev and picks up the W and does, man, this is a heel we talked about Becky Lynch a minute ago who shouldn't cheat to win. He should be a heel that cheats to win. He should be a guy. He has a look already. He has the look already, and then he can come out and kind of cut out the rap skills, but almost interrupt people. He really could be like the Elias of SmackDown. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely got the potential. He's got the charisma to go with it. I agree. They could make they could make him into the next star for SmackDown, and SmackDown's just doing great things, man. Like I we would you imagine this time last year, Aiden English was nothing but a footnote to us. And
Yeah.
now he's like in like co-main events. He's in main events. He's prominent role on SmackDown. You can't really say SmackDown and not mention him and Rusev. I mean, that's part of it. Like they've just done real well, man. It's hard to believe that this is the same writing team between both brands, man. It's literally. I said this last week, and I'm gonna probably say it again next week. It's like night and day between the two brands, man.
So let me ask you then, because you're talking about the booking. Ty Dillinger is never, ever, ever, ever on SmackDown. So it got me thinking earlier today. The modern day NXT call ups don't. What's wrong there? So I'm excluding, we'll say, post the Shield, and I'd say when the Shield was in NXT, Cesaro, like post that era. Post, I'd say from NXT Takeover, the initial NXT Takeover and beyond. Why are these guys that go to the main roster? Okay, between me and you, let's list off everybody who's gone to the main roster, and we could say it. They haven't succeeded.
So we're starting from like Bobby Roode to Shinsuke Nakamura to
no, before that. So let's call out a bunch. So
okay.
Tyler Breeze,
yeah, Tyler
Jobber
Breeze.
never on TV. Bobby Roode is kind of a well, we talked about it last week. He's in a weird tag team, a thrown together tag team for sure.
Yeah, Frankenstein.
So let's name a bunch of people that have been called up that just they haven't done too well. The Revival, the Ascension, Bobby Roode, Tyler Breeze. I mean, I feel like Leo Rush, maybe, but
nah,
I don't think he's going to be a wrestler, though. Is he?
Bruh. Yeah, he's wrestler, dude. He's doing both Raw and SmackDown. I'm sorry, Raw and 205 Live, bruh. Leo Rush is like the newest sensation on
But
Raw right now.
On Raw, he's not going to be a wrestler.
He
He'll be like a
will.
Drake Maverick.
He'll wrestle.
You think?
He'll wrestle.
But he'll lose. He'll get beat up.
No, I think that his first match he'll win. Like
But Leo Rush is like smaller than me, so he belongs. He's like,
yeah,
if he's smaller than me, he's sick.
And Neville was taking on guys that are bigger than him.
True. But can we talk about the NXT crop that's been called up? They just haven't done much.
Yeah, it's the
Revival.
It's the writers, man. The creatives don't have anything for these guys, man, or they don't know what to do with them. Like it's like going from JV to varsity with just different coaches, man. Like the main guys just don't know what to do with them, even though they've had success on the B side of the house. Like I don't know, man, but I will say this, man. Like I feel like the ones who stay on SmackDown have a better chance of like making something of themselves than the people who stay on Raw.
What up,
I mean,
Wrestling Network? Yeah, it is.
yeah.
It is Van Goosen and Sage Mark. But you're right. I just, it makes me wonder. It makes me wonder. Uh, is it the slow game? Because the Extension's got some attention lately. Is
Oh
it the
man.
Mojo Rawley? He really hasn't done much. Is it the slow game where they debut these guys? No, because Andrade Cien Almas. He was my performer of the week, and he's tearing it up on SmackDown.
But again, it's SmackDown. Like even Ty Dillinger, like as much as we say that he's not on the show wrestling, he has been on the show. I mean, he's been on every other week with R-Truth in some type of segment, man. And even stuff like that, they're getting more airtime than the people on Raw, than the NXT call-ups on Raw are. So I just think that it's just a matter of finding a formula. Like, I think Raw is going through an identity crisis. They don't know what they want to be. They don't know if they want to be the old WCW, the Attitude Era, or a mix between the two. They're suffering from that type of identity crisis where SmackDown's got the formula. You've got two main stories that are consistent week to week, and then you've got four wrestlers, four to six wrestlers that alternate from week to week, and it works. It's fresh every single time. It doesn't feel stale. The product itself doesn't feel stale. And I think that that's why there's more success on SmackDown than there is on Raw. We don't need to see these guys every week, but we do need to see them in prominent roles so that we can get invested on them. If AOP comes in and fights legitimate tag teams once every other week, then I think that they would be in a better spot than them fighting jobbers or not even making the squad for 3 weeks in a row.
See, and that's the thing is AOP debuted, then didn't debut. You didn't see him fight forever. Now they have Drake Maverick with him, which I dig, by the way. I really like that they've got this tiny guy, half their size, that's running his mouth just like crazy. I really like what they're doing with AOP. But were they? I don't remember. Were they on Raw this week?
AOP was.
They did. They had a squash match this week against local talent, right?
Yeah,
that's right.
Match, and they were Drake basically got them to calm down because they were going a little bit overboard.
See, but these guys debuted what after WrestleMania? That's when they got the call up.
Yeah, and the funny part about that is that call up that they had, I think it was the week after they told Paul Ellering to skip town, which I get. I understand why they did that, but
it's been 6 months since WrestleMania, and these guys are still fighting jobbers.
I know, man. It's them not having anything for this talent when they bring them up. And I don't see why you can't put AOP and the Revival against each other one week, or the B Team versus AOP, or damn, I don't even know who's all there. You don't have the Deleters of World there anymore. Yeah, I don't know, man. Breezango versus the Revival, or
it's kind of like you debut and you have to win 2 matches, then you get a title shot. But it didn't have to be that way at all.
No.
So
Have some battle royals here and there, or some 6-man tags, or something. Just sprinkle it every other week differently. And I don't know. Like I said, I think Raw's just going through identity crisis right now. They just don't know what they want to be. And with this whole tomfoolery of a pay-per-view, we have 4 pay-per-view events in less than 2 months. It's not any better. I'm kind of pissed off, to be honest with you, about that, but I guess we'll get after that in a bit.
Yeah, so good week in wrestling. I think the consensus for a lot of people, from what I was reading on social media, they were comparing spending the time to watch All In to watching Hell in a Cell, and All In clearly won that. I don't know why people. I mean, it's polar opposite pay per views. I don't know why people compared it. Maybe just because they're close in nature. Um, but yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, apples and oranges to me.
Yeah.
Hey,
Agreed.
in MMA news, did you hear John Jones was cleared to come back effective October 31st?
Oh, that's interesting. I wonder
It was
when he'll be
shady.
suspended again. November 1st.
No kidding. So yeah, right. So get this. I read about John Jones getting the approval to come back. They asked Daniel Cormier, "Hey, do you want to fight him?" And he said, "Man, I'm beyond that. I'm bought the dude twice, lost to him twice. He did drugs twice. Whatever." And one of two things happen. And one is that he used a clause in USADA's drug testing that if you snitch, your sentence gets reduced. And you know what snitches get, right?
They get nothing.
You get nothing. These snitches get stitches.
They
But
get stitches.
either he snitched, some props for that, because if you snitch and then you can get back in the ring and make some money, you got to do you. Not you don't have to do anybody else. You got to do you. But the other aspect from an article I read is that USADA asked him for all this, and he sent them everything he takes, and all of those supplements came back without any banned substances in them. But yet you pop hot for banned substances. So it makes me think he intentionally didn't send them everything. And then he snitched and then got a reduced sentence. So I guess I'm glad to see him back for the UFC world, but
I don't know, man. Just like Josh Gordon, I'm done with that dude.
yeah, he'll be lining up for the Patriots this week. That's nuts. That was a heavy.
Yeah, I mean, people. I guess teams are going to be dumb not to pick him up, but I mean, it's kind of funny that with all his shenanigans that they were willing to pick him up, but they weren't able to. They didn't want to pick up To for like 4 seasons because
Yeah, Dez or any of those people. Yeah.
yeah. So just think that's kind of crazy, man. What do you think about all these pay-per-views, man, that are coming up in the next 4 months? Just in general.
So there's a lot of wrestling to watch soon. So I'm not that against it. I think the Saudi Arabia or maybe the Australia card is at like one in the afternoon or something like that.
Yeah, on a Friday, I think.
Yeah, so I'm not too against that. But it does take away from the impact of the matches, of some of the matches that are on those cards. Right? Because you have so many pay-per-views.
Yeah, I agree. And with Evolution's card like being leaked by WWE, which I can't understand why in the world they would leak it unless they felt like the attendance wasn't going to be there. So that I mean, there's that, and then the Saudi Arabia thing, man. I'm just I don't know where to begin with that, Goose. Like to be honest with you, I'm kind of upset about it because like they kept it a secret, but they knew back in April that this was going to happen. They kept it a secret. They promoted Evolution, but comes to find out the only reason why Evolution came out there, or the only reason why they developed Evolution is because they knew they were going to do another Saudi Arabia show, 7 or 8 months after
Yeah,
they did
good
the
call.
last one. And it's kind of like it's kind of like a solid what do they call it? Consolidation prize, where constellation prize. There we go. It's like a constellation prize for the women. We're just going to give you this pay-per-view because heck, you're not going to be able to go to Saudi Arabia with us to make billions and billions of dollars and stuff like that. And I just think it's
the consolation prize. That's it. Yeah.
I just think it's disrespectful to the women.
But it's nice at the same time. It'd be more disrespectful if they didn't have it than if they had it, right?
I mean, I don't know, man. When you throwing gay dudes off the towers and beheading people because of their sexual orientation, I'm not trying to make this political or anything like that, man. And but doing that and then all the crazy stuff they do to the women, um, I just I don't understand as a company how you okay with supporting that, especially with and bringing this into the mark area, especially when they don't even really like wrestling. I mean, if you go back to watch the Greatest Royal Rumble, the entire front crowd of quote unquote kings were just sitting there on their cell phones placing bets about the matches.
But
Like,
that's their culture, though. We can't rag on that.
I, but can't we? I mean, the crowd is arguably just as important to the event in itself, and you're presenting a product that showcases people who don't actually like wrestling, like the product that you're into.
But
I was more
that's partially WWE's fault. Because if you're a TV show and you're in a production truck and you can see, regardless of what country you're in, you could see people not paying attention to the show and them just trying to show their glamour and glitz. That's where you say, "Hey, man, camera 4, zoom in on the. Don't zoom in on the crowd. Zoom in
but
on the
you can't
ring."
but you couldn't do that. Like even if you zoomed in on the ring, you can't zoom in that tight of an angle for the entire pay-per-view. That's just as much of a distraction as if you were to pan out and let them
So,
do what they do.
do you think that they're taking people's signs in Saudi Arabia that says "Boo the Woo"?
To be honest with you, I don't think anyone from Saudi Arabia is bringing in signs. I'm pretty sure that they're. I don't even think. I have to go back to watch
Well,
the Greatest Royal Rumble, but I don't think I saw actual signs there.
if they're trying to make the people in Saudi Arabia happy, do you think they're taking away their signs? Because that would make them unhappy, right?
Yeah, but the people who are develop or who are creating signs are in the damn nosebleed sections, man. Let's let's be real about it. Like they're not the ones that are in the front rows or heck in the rows right behind them where the hard camera is. They're all the way in the nosebleed sections, man. I just like go back, like you take the time and watch like 10 minutes of the Greatest Royal Rumble and just look at the crowd and just the crowd. Don't focus on the match or the production value. Just focus on the crowd and ask yourself, can you really sit through this again and be entertained through the entire thing? I just I beg to differ. I don't think we can, and it's part of my problem. Like I just don't. I'm not trying to shit on like Saudi Arabia or anything like that. It's
No,
not
not at all.
my thing.
No, great
I got love
place.
for all people and things like that. But just like if you're not passionate about the product and you know that you're not passionate about the product, why the hell are you selling out? I feel like you're alienating a big part of your base by doing that. But
Turn around again. Yep.
oh no, we got a flag.
Oh, never mind. So you're right. You're right. I see what you're saying now. It's not about Saudi Arabia or the country, the culture, the man, the woman. It's about just fans in general. If there's going to be fans that aren't fans,
Illegal
then
block in
what's
the
the
back.
point,
Yeah.
right?
I mean that's all I'm saying, man. We're you know how much of a mark I am for women's wrestling, man. We're selling out the women for this is kind of how I see it, man. That's just my perspective.
Yeah. No, I could totally see that. So what else to get into this week? I feel like we covered, for the most part, pretty much everything in the world of wrestling, rap
Yeah.
disses, football.
One thing I wanted to say is there's increasing talks about Cyborg and Ronda Rousey doing a thing at WrestleMania. I don't know how I feel about that.
Oh, I love it. They're going to doctor up the story so much, it's insane.
But then you're putting on the back burner the four horsewomen.
Okay, but let me tell you this. Cyborg is a workhorse and she's a great fighter and she puts a lot into weight cutting. She's done it in unhealthy fashions at times. If she puts in the same effort into putting on a good match as Ronda Rousey puts in, those two are going to have a very, very, very good match. Would you disagree?
No, I would totally agree, and I know that she is a workhorse, and I know that she takes her crafts and any project that she gets into seriously. So I think it's possible that it could happen. I just don't know if people would be into it. I don't know if wrestling people or wrestling marks would be into it. I know that
Oh, they'll be into
UFC
it.
and MMAs and things like that would be maybe I don't know. I
No,
don't know if it'd be a
UFC,
draw. I just don't
UFC
know.
would UFC wouldn't love it. No, you know what they're gonna do? Cyborg's gonna come in. I've already got the story because I talked to Stephanie McMahon yesterday. I already planned this all out.
Oh, okay. Let's talk about it.
At when your beard is weird. So what's gonna happen is Stephanie McMahon is gonna get her arm broken again. She's gonna get beat up by Ronda Rousey, and she's gonna be sick of it. And she's gonna hire Cyborg, and they're gonna build it up as the match that never happened in UFC. And Cyborg's gonna come in as a heel. She'll be able to pull off a heel look. She's gonna come in as a heel, and she's gonna be supported by Stephanie McMahon, who's gonna, and you know Stephanie McMahon can cut a promo like no other. And she's gonna build up Cyborg like this mega heel. Cyborg's probably gonna beat up Alicia Fox, Natalia. That's the kicker. She's gonna beat up Natalia so bad. And Natalia's Rousey's friend. She's gonna beat her up so bad. That's how it's gonna work. And then it's gonna be Stephanie McMahon's Cyborg that fights Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey gets the win at Mania, and Stephanie comes in and slaps the crap out of Cyborg. You know the Stephanie McMahon slap?
Yeah.
And fans are like, oh, wait a minute. No, you didn't. And then Cyborg's going to turn on Stephanie McMahon. That's the end.
Wrestling Network isn't he's not digging that, bro.
No, he's not. But I think that's what's going to happen. Because Stephanie McMahon called him.
Baby, let's go! Carlos Hyde! Yeah!
And yeah, Wrestling Network, that is a big storyline. I don't know if it'll go that far. You're right. But other than that, I think, what else? I think we pretty much touched on everything. Wrestling, MMA, football,
Yeah.
rap.
Did you watch NXT this week, bro?
Absolutely not.
Okay. So two things real quick before we start closing out the show. One, this was the first week. 205 was on Tuesday nights.
Wednesday nights.
Wednesday nights.
Oh, that's like you not, that's almost as bad as you not knowing the IRWP phone number.
Yeah, that's true. It's on Wednesday nights, and I have to say that I like it better on Wednesday nights than I do on Tuesday. It doesn't feel like overload, considering that SmackDown starts at 7 and ends at 9. So, absolutely.
So is it taped Tuesdays, aired Wednesdays?
Yeah. So that's
okay.
Right. Taped Tuesdays, aired Wednesdays. So I love that format. And then the Mae Young Classic was off the chain, but more importantly, Ricochet and Pete Dunne had a title for title match on NXT that went 25 minutes, and it was spectacular. Like, it felt like a damn takeover match, that entire thing, man. So if you need to, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but
no,
you need
I
to
don't know
watch
who
that,
won.
bro.
So
yeah, you need to go and watch that, because that was like amazing. Best thing I've seen in quite a long time. Those two have great chemistry in the ring together, and with Mauro Ranallo just doing his thing, yo, that's where it's at, man.
Okay, I'll have to, that's one match I will try to check out this weekend. And I will actually try to check it out. Unlike Finn Balor versus Rich Swann from a year and a half ago.
Man, you're such a disappointment, Goose.
At least my beard ain't weird.
Let's talk about
it. Well, hey, what up, everybody? We had a great show this week. A lot going on. This was a productive week. I mean, considering, if you think about it, if you include NXT, you've got what? How long was itself? 4.5 hours? 5:30 to 10.
It went by quick, man.
No, 4:30 to 5 hours. Yeah. No, 5:30. My bad.
6 to 9, wasn't it? Or 6 to 10?
Yeah, so 4 hours.
Yeah.
Then you factor in
the pre-show.
And this is my broke ass Scott Steiner math. What's that?
You got
4
a
hours.
33% chance to do this, and you got a 33%. You get out of your fat asses.
We got 4 hours on a Sunday, 3 hours on a Monday, 2 hours on a Wednesday, 1 hour. on a Tuesday, 1 hour on a Wednesday. So that's a lot of wrestling to watch.
Mm-hmm.
But it's good to be a part of the community. We'll always take it. NFL, Sage the Mark is going to finish this Browns game. They might get their first dub in over 2 years.
Yeah, over 2 years, man. 638 days and counting. But yeah, we get it, man. Cleveland's going to be a crazy place. It's like us winning the Super Bowl. The stadium is going to give out free beer to everybody. There's going to be a lot of babies. We're going to have baby boomers 2.0 after tonight.
So is that legit that they're giving out free beers? I know we mentioned it earlier. You talked about it earlier. It's legit?
It's legit, man. They got it on lock and key right now. And they're going to give out free beers to everyone in the stadium once they win the match. Right now, it's 21-17. Jets have the ball. 2 minutes, 4 seconds on the clock. 1st and 10.
All right, boys. So this week, hell of a show. Again, like I said, we touched on a lot. John Jones come back. A lot of stuff going on this week. Professional wrestling. It's your boy Ben Goose. And that hit us up at Real WrestleCast. Sage, hit him with the phone number because we had some people that wanted to call in.
Yeah. I'll make sure to hit us up 419-777-IRWP. Let us know what you guys thought about this week in wrestling, Hell in a Cell, Raw, SmackDown, and everything in between. We'd love to hear from you. Also, we'll be dropping the Mae Young Classic episodes 1 and 2 reviews on Patreon. So if you're not a Patreon donor, y'all go ahead and check that out because it's going down this week. Patreon.com/IRWP. Twitter is at Real WrestleCast. And if you don't remember any of those credentials, it's okay. We got something short for you. It's called our website, IRWP.us. Y'all go visit, show us some love. Your boys, Sage the Muck, out, Ghost!
Taking them home. The thoughts and opinions are that of the host, not of the IRWP. Hit us up at Real WrestleCast, IRWP.us, 419-777-IRWP. Micro Machines. Let's go. Keep it real.